if you're using ChatGPT to get lean in 2026, you're cooked. Not even gonna lie, dude. And now, before the warriors, all the AI warriors, start going in the comments saying, "Oh no, dude, I've been able to lose 30 pounds and do this and that, and ChatGPT's been better than any coach I've ever had." Blah blah blah. You're just trying to sell a course, whatever. Hold on for a sec. Actually, think this through because I am genuinely trying to help you. Okay, when it comes to things like ChatGPT, Claude, AI, whatever, first off, yes, a lot of solid information can be given. A lot of nicely consolidated information can also be given to you. That said, a lot of the times when you're typing these things in or researching these things, it's mostly on a baseline level. Like, yes, it can help you calculate your BMR. It can help you understand what the difference is between non-exercise activity thermogenesis and exercise activity thermogenesis. Things like that, a little bit more definition based, a little bit more crux, like foundation based information. But at the same time, too, when you ask it more niche or specific information or questions, you tend to run into this problem where, yes, it might have a certain answer for you, but sometimes it's like, well, there was one study quoted back in 2019 where blah, 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 testosterone increased by 33% in subjects. And it's like, oh, okay, by taking that one supplement? Okay, hold on, maybe I should take that supplement. And then you realize that all the test subjects were 74-year-old men and their testosterone got an increase because they were exercising, eating healthier, and then happened to also take this supplement. So is it because of the supplement, or is it because one of the best ways to increase your testosterone is eating right and exercising? You know what I mean? And you might be like a 32-year-old man thinking like, oh, perfect, that's going to boost my test. No, it really won't. A lot of those things, a lot of those studies, especially, you have to think of who the subject matter is. Like, who are they actually testing on? Is it like middle school girls, or is it like, like I said, old, like 74-year-old men? Is it something that actually aligns with you? And what else were they doing in that process? Because a lot of the times, like I remember there's this one study where it was on anabolic steroid use. And essentially, it basically just said, okay, here's a group exercising, not taking steroids. Here's a group exercising, taking steroids. And here's a group not exercising, taking steroids. And it was pretty crazy because the one group that was taking steroids actually saw a significant amount of muscle increase without the exercise part of it. Now, there's plenty of other factors to go into it, but it's like, oh, well, I guess based off of those results alone, shouldn't I just start taking steroids? And it's like, no, there's also an application, an applicable side to this too. And I think that's where a common misconception comes from, especially with like ChatGPT and like AI and all that, is that like, first off, I should have made this clear at the start. Guys, I think AI is a phenomenal tool. I think it can be utilized in a great way to help with many different parts of life, especially business in general. But it should not replace other things, if that makes sense. And I'm about to get into that here in a sec as well. So when it comes to things like AI and it actually helping you get results and whatnot, it's almost as if it's like a fad diet. Because when you do a fad diet, or you start keto, or you start carnivore, or you start some sort of diet where you're like, oh, this is going to help me. I'm going to lose freaking 50 pounds off of this thing. And then you notice how almost anybody who starts those diets will lose a bunch of weight and then they just gain the weight right back. It's because a lot of the time they didn't learn what they did in the process or how to maintain that, because just cutting out carbs the rest of your life just isn't gonna work for like 99% of people. I know people out there that personally like don't eat any carbs at all, like strict carnivore, strict keto, and that just works for them. There's famous people online that do that as well. That does not necessarily make it healthy, and then that does also not necessarily make it sustainable the rest of your life. Like, I want to have donuts. I freaking love donuts. I love cake. I want to be able to eat those things. I'm not going to cut those out forever because that's not fun. But I am going to figure out a way to incorporate those into my diet to where I can enjoy those things while I am still seeing results. And so with ChatGPT and whatnot, a lot of the times it could help get you started, and it helps lay a foundation for you to learn a little bit. Hey, what does it mean to be in a caloric deficit? Boom. I mean, you could literally Google all this stuff too. The information has pretty much always been out there, but the thing that's missing the most is that accountability aspect. ChatGPT is not going to keep you accountable. It's not going to be that human connection to where it's like, oh dang, I like for example, I have clients that I train. Uh, some of my clients literally have told me, yeah, the reason I actually hired you, like I pretty much know how to work out and I know what to eat and how to eat, but that human to human connection goes so much further. That level of accountability is so much higher. It's so much different. And through that, sometimes for some of them even saying, I would rather hire you and see results by not letting you down than letting myself down. Because I know I can let myself down because I've let myself down for years. And that's not something that bothers me. But I know if I am paying you money, I am investing money into you, into myself, and I'm letting you down as a coach, then that bothers me now too. And I'm like, oh, like that actually is something I've been coaching for over 7 years. And that's something that actually kind of shook me a little. I was like, really? Like you don't want this for yourself? You want this more so, or you're more so using me as the tool to, you don't want to let me down, but that helps hold you accountable. Now, honestly, is that a different strategy? Is that a unique strategy? Yeah, it really is. Like I'm actually shocked how often I hear that. Especially nowadays, I'm really shocked how often I hear that. But I mean, shoot, if it works, it's kind of like if a placebo, I take this pill and then I'm just super happy. It's like, okay, well, did the pill make you happy or is it placebo making you happy? And it's like, well, if I'm really happy in the end, regardless, whether it's a placebo or not, isn't that the end result? Like, isn't that working? And that's kind of how I view that in terms of accountability too. Like if that accountability, even though it might be in a weird way, a strange way to some people, if that helps them and that is actually working, then we should keep doing that. You know what I mean? And I think when it comes to that human to human connection, there's a lot more that plays into it as well. Not just developing the relationships in general, but I guess I should say the lack of human connection. It's like AI is there, like AI is there. It's developing. It's going at a pretty fast rate right now, and I do have pretty high hopes, I guess you could say, for it. But I just don't think we're there yet, and I don't think it's going to be replacing like coaches. I think a lot of coaches will be replaced by AI. I think it is very possible for them to be replaced by AI, but that is also because they're not developing connections with their clients either. And so through that, with the human connection, the human to human connection part, a lot of my clients, like it's almost like they're my friends, if that makes sense. I know some people are like, oh, I'd rather just like keep it professional. I'd rather do this or that, and just tell me what to do. I'll do it. Don't talk to me otherwise. It's like that's fine. That's totally cool. I've had plenty of clients like that in the past as well. But I noticed that when my clients trust me, they tend to listen more. When it's pretty, I think a lot of people are still like a very 50-50 split on like who trusts AI, who doesn't. Is it going to turn into the Terminator and freaking take over the world, and or just things like that? Or is it like, hey, I'm literally going to ask AI how to talk to people for every single conversation. What movie should I go see? You know what I mean? It's like there's two sides to this coin. And I just don't think we're there yet in terms of having it just be ultra intelligent and ultra being able to connect with you. Because even then, like that human to human connection, I don't think in this lifetime will dissipate as fast as people think it will, or people saying it will. And with that human to human connection, having my clients trust me more yields them more results. And as a result of that, so they trust me, they get better results. That makes me look better as a coach. That makes me put more energy back into them. Now they trust me more. Now they get better results. Now you see how it's just this cyclical effect of, not to sound kind of weird, but like positivity. It's just a cycle, a positive feedback loop of us just being it being a mutually beneficial relationship. Uh, I get to make a career doing what I love. They get to be in the best shape of their life. They get to create memories with their families that are going to last a lifetime. They get to have the capability to do things that they never would have been able to do otherwise if they were not fit or in shape or resistance training, or if they fell and broke a hip and now they're hospitalized and their life ends in 6 months. You know what I mean? And I know that sounds like it's a little bit more straightforward than I probably meant it to sound, but that's just kind of the reality of the situation, and that's what a lot of my clients are dealing with, especially my clients who are like 50 plus. That's just super common. But even for my young people, a lot of my young people are the ones that are more interested in AI and more willing to be open-minded to that as well. I have clients that actually use it. They say, hey, I just typed this into ChatGPT. This is what it regurgitated back to me. What are your thoughts on this? And then sometimes I'll give them the information like, hey, well, actually, like in the subject matter, when you take this study, you realize this is nowhere near your demographic. This is like this has nothing to do with you. Like you are a, let's say for example, one of my ladies, she's freaking brilliant lady, super smart, super hardworking. I think she's 44 years old, 44-year-old woman. But she types something into ChatGPT, it gives her an answer in a study based off of like teenage boys and like testosterone and whatnot and building muscle. Like that's gonna look very different for those children versus her, if that makes sense. And so I tell my clients like, hey, test it, try it out, do whatever. Don't let it be your end all be all. Like you should be taking all the details that you're getting from everything you're learning, like your whole scope, your whole life. The reason we each have an individual personality like we do is because it's just all the culmination of memories and experiences and the positive feedback, the negative feedback. That's all cultivated us to where exactly where we are right now today, and how we speak, how we talk, who we are as people. And I tell them that same thing goes with your fitness. Like just because I, of course, obviously have over a decade of consolidated experience that I am just giving them the fast track to. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't ever go listen to anybody else. Like if there's some doctor that's a specialist on gut health or whatever, then yeah, go listen to that. And shoot, let me listen to it too. And then I can sometimes, after doing this for a while, you can sort of tell like, okay, this person is mostly just trying to attack a very niche point, but it happens to get views. They're not wrong, but it's just attacking a niche point. That's fine, but that is not the end all be all, especially in your situation, especially for my clients, because I know their exact direct one-on-one situation. It is not like I'm just making a blanket statement and saying the world should accept it. Now that's a lot of how like social media is nowadays, and that's how you pop off. Cool. That's honestly not a problem with that. It is only a problem when you take it as gospel. For example, one of my clients recently, he just sent me this video of one of the most, I'd say, of an extremely well-respected science-based kinesiologist, lifter, fit guy, pretty much influencer, whatever you want to say. And it was essentially saying like, hey, you should never barbell squat before your other leg exercises. Like you should do leg extension first, you should do leg curls first, and then you should go squat at the end. And now I'm like, okay, in a very niche circumstance of like trying to grow the quads, like obviously I'm summing this up here, so bear with me. In a very niche circumstance of like just trying to accelerate growth in the quads, sure, that makes sense. Squatting, however, is a really good bang for buck overall. You can load up a lot of weight. It's a great compound movement. We're hitting a lot of different muscle groups with that. And your injury risk is a lot higher if the later in the workout you hit it, the more fatigued you become. So if you can hit your warm up, hit that at the start of the workout, you're getting really good bang for buck. So by the end of the workout, when all you're doing is a leg extension, where it's just some knee flexion, and that's the most strain you're putting on your body, you're being a lot more advantageous position, and it's a lot more efficacious to hit it in that order to where you're like, I'm expending the most energy here, and then we just go to the smaller muscle groups and the smaller movements that are not only going to keep us safer, but we can burn out on those a lot harder as well. So that was a little bit of a ramble, but that's just a circumstance. Like he sent this asking, hey, is this valid? Because I trust this guy as well, and you are my coach. I want to combine these thoughts. Perfect. I want that. I want you guys to say that and to think that. I want them to think that. And so that's where I have to step in and say, hey, look, this is a very niche video. Yes, it makes sense. No, he is not wrong. In your circumstance and in most other people's circumstance who aren't specifically just focusing on quad growth alone, who are trying to get better, get stronger, get lean, and develop more muscle over time, it is better to typically put barbell squats at the front of the workout. So that, like I said, ChatGPT can be very good for what it is right now, and it definitely has a lot more capability, and yeah, it probably will be helping a lot more people in the future too. I mean, with their health, with their fitness. But like I said, that it's always been the information that's out there. It is just the lack of application that is out there. And a lot of people forget the application side of things. Like, well, I hear doing sprints is better than walking on an incline. And it's like, yeah, sprints are actually technically better than that. But how many times are you going to sprint during the week? And how many times when you're tired and you had a long day at work and you have to take care of your kids, how many times are you going to go home and then sprint, or like, leave your house and go sprinting that night after a long day? Your barrier of entry matters as well. So you have to remember that too. Fitness is a game of, honestly, it's kind of like a game of brains and willpower. You have to be smarter. You have to be more structured. You have to find something that actually works for you. And then you have to have the willpower to actually stay consistent with it. There are things that make it easier over time to where those things start to become your lifestyle. They start to become habits. They start to become normal for you. You have a certain standard that is set that you don't need to drop. And that's one thing that a lot of people don't think about. They just think, well, if I could just do this and get some quick fix, then I'll be good. I'm set for life. And then they quickly realize how far they fall back because they aren't set for life. They didn't develop anything in the first place. They had an extremely rocky foundation of just ChatGPT workouts, but they never learned how to program. How do I adjust this? When do I know when to switch my workouts? How do I know when to refeed? Hey, does ChatGPT take into consideration the stress side of things? Like, hey, I'm feeling this level of stress right now. Does it fully understand that yet? Not necessarily yet. And it probably won't for a while, but at the same time, when you are opening up to a person, you're talking to a person. I know nowadays that is a lot more, like, I know people that are literally uh, like full grown adults, some people over the age of 50 that are like scared to hop on a phone call. Like, that human to human connection is already going down a bit. People are less social. We're more social than ever, but also less social than ever. Like, we're more social on the online side of things than ever before. But a lot of people that are online never interact with the world around them or the people that they are interacting with online, if that makes sense. There's not a whole lot of person to person connection there. And through that person to person connection, I think goes a much longer way. And I think just having that level of respect too for each other and developing that network of, hey, my coach is really good with this. Hey, but I met this special, like this registered dietitian. She's really good with this. Maybe I should introduce them. They refer each other to they refer people to each other. Hey, I really trust this person. Go to them. Hey, this surgeon. I've had a few clients go to this person locally. You should try them out. Let me do research on the doctors in your area, in your state, because a lot of my clients are online, not all of them are local. And so, like I said, it's not like I can meet with them physically in person sometimes, but I can help look at their area, see what's going on. Shoot, I literally make grocery lists for some of them too. Hey, I have a Walmart, you have whatever. There's one of my guys in Florida, I cannot remember for the life of me what it's called, but it's like, I have this here in my city, you have this in your city, in your state. I'm going to make you a grocery list for that. And that's just the benefit of it. And now he feels more reinforced, more supported because we have that connection. And because they can come to me as well. Like, fitness lays the foundation for a lot of things and probably most of your life in certain aspects, depending on which way you're looking at it. But I make sure to talk to them a lot more with a lot more subject matter than just fitness itself. Fitness lays that foundation. We talk a lot about like I said, I can't, like, there's certain things I have to stay within my scope, but financial stuff, emotional stuff, mental stuff, relationships and whatnot. Are we talking about, some of them? Hey, how can I make women feel comfortable around me? Like, that is kind of like out of my comfort zone. I don't know how to do that. Cool. Let's talk about that a little bit. We've been developing that confidence. You're ready to start going out there. That's a good thing. Others, hey, I'm in this weird situation, like, financially, I'm trying to figure out how to get out of this. Have you ever heard anything about like how to budget or whatever? Oh, I've heard you could try this, and this. Some of my clients have done this. This is maybe what you can try, but just make sure you're consulting a professional, that sort of thing. So fitness lays that foundation, but having that human to human connection and not just seeing it as like, hey, I'm just going to come here, get my answer, and then go about my day, because that doesn't change you and it's not going to hold you accountable. it will give you the information you need, but especially now, especially in the past like 20 years or so, the lack of the access to information was not the problem. It was the accountability and you actually taking action on stuff. So I guess to wrap that up, don't rely so heavily on ChatGPT in 2026 because you're probably going to be cooked if you do that. Actually find something that works for you. Use it to build a foundation if you would like, but realize having a trained professional, having someone that can fast track you goes a much longer way than that. So if any of this resonated with you, I've been talking the whole video about it, but I am an online fitness coach. If you fill out the type form in the description down below, that is a one-on-one coaching application. I'll see what you have going on. I'll reach out. I'll see what I can do for you, that sort of thing. If not, and that's not your thing, you like doing your ChatGPT, go for it. No problem. I genuinely hope you find a way to stick with it. Like I said, this whole video was not to bash AI, ChatGPT, whatever. Like I said, I think it's a great tool, but realize if it is not holding you accountable, if you are not able to stick with it long term, if it is not sustainable, that is a fault, and that is something that you want to prevent. I am just trying to save you time, save you money, save you frustration from actually going through that, because I've had a lot of clients, especially over the past couple of years, that have tried that route, and the whole reason they have come to me is because that route failed. So that's all I got to say about that. If you do need anything, or if I missed on anything, go ahead and feel free to comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.